Mass Kilapavur.
Hi, welcome to Mass Kilapavur channel. I am Dr. Aruna Shanmugavel. In this video, we are going to learn the nuclei, cores and branches of facial nerve. Before starting the session, let us see a quote. Let the rain wash away all the pain. Shall we enter into the topic? The facial nerve is the seventh cranial nerve and it is the nerve of second branchial arch. The nuclei for the facial nerve are motor nucleus for special visceral efferent fibers for the muscles of facial expression, lacrimatory and superior salivary nucleus for general visceral efferent fibers for lacrimal, submandibular and sublingual gland. Nucleus of tractus solitarius for the special visceral afferent fibers for taste from anterior two-thirds of tongue except circumvallate papilla. Nucleus of spinal tract of trigeminal nerve for general somatic afferent fibers from the conchal area of auricle. The motor nucleus lies deep in the reticular formation of lower part of pons. It carries special visceral efferent fibers to the muscles of facial expression. It is a complex of lateral, intermediate and medial subnuclei. The lateral part of the nucleus supplies muscles around the mouth including buccinata. The intermediate portion supplies muscles of upper part of face including orbicularis oculi. The medial portion of the motor nucleus supplies auricular muscles, platysma and occipitofrontalis. During evolution, the motor nucleus migrates to be placed near the sensory nucleus of trigeminal nerve. This is for the quick reflex action. That is, the sensory and motor nuclei of fibers supplying a particular area will be located close to each other. This phenomenon of migration is called neurobiotaxis. The fibers originating from motor nucleus take an unusual course, that is, instead of passing ventrally, the fibers run dorsally and wind round the abducent nucleus by running inferior, medial, superior and lateral to it successively, thereby making an elevation in the floor of fourth ventricle. This elevation is called as facial colliculus or facial hillock. The bend of facial nerve here is the internal genu of facial nerve. Then the fibers pass medial to sensory nucleus of trigeminal nerve. The fibers from other nuclei, that is lacrimatory nucleus, superior salivary nucleus, nucleus of tractus solitarius, nucleus of spinal tract of trigeminal will emerge ventrally forming the sensory root called nervus intermedius or nerve of Risberg. Both roots emerge from the pontomedullary junction between the lower border of pons and olive of medulla oblongata. The motor root is medial and sensory root is lateral. So far, we have seen the intrapontine course of facial nerve. Shall we move on to the intracranial course? Yes, this part is from the surface of brain up to the internal acoustic meatus. The sensory root lies between the motor root of facial nerve medially and vestibular part of vestibulocochlear nerve laterally. Hence, it is called nervus intermedius. Both roots run laterally, being accompanied by eighth nerve and labyrinthine artery. Thus, leaves the posterior cranial fossa and enters into the internal acoustic meatus. The internal acoustic meatus is present in the posterior surface of petrous part of temporal bone. Once the nerve enters into the internal acoustic meatus, till it comes out of the stylomastoid foramen, it is the intrapetrous course of facial nerve. Within the internal acoustic meatus, the eighth nerve forms bed for the facial nerve. The sensory root, that is nervus intermedius, is cushioned between motor root of facial nerve and eighth nerve. The labyrinthine artery also accompanies the facial nerve in the meatus. At the lateral end of internal acoustic meatus, both motor and sensory roots of facial nerve join together to form a single trunk. This trunk enters into the upper opening of facial canal. Where is this upper opening of facial canal? The lateral wall of internal acoustic meatus has a thin bony plate called lamina cribrosa. This plate is divided into two areas, upper and lower, by an oblique vestibular crest. In the upper anterior part is the upper opening of facial canal or canal of Fallopi. Its position is now in the roof of internal ear. After reaching the anterosuperior corner of the medial wall of middle ear, the canal runs backwards as the horizontal part of facial canal. Above the promontory of medial wall of middle ear cavity, this part runs backwards. Then, posterior to the posterior wall of middle ear cavity, at the level of adductus to mastoid antrum, the facial canal sharply bends downwards and runs as the vertical part of facial canal that opens out as the stylomastoid foramen. Hope you have understood the direction of facial canal. Now we will move on with the passage of facial nerve in the facial canal. The facial nerve, after entering into the upper opening of facial canal, it runs to reach between cochlea and vestibule. At this level, the nerve bends and forms the geniculate ganglion. This bend is the external genu of facial nerve. Then it continues over the medial wall of middle ear cavity just above the promontory and oval window, that is fenestra vestibuli. Observe the dotted line in the picture. The nerve is then reaching the adductus to mastoid antrum, then immediately runs downwards in the vertical part of the facial canal. Now, at this juncture, we should remember two important features of vertical part of facial canal. Near the pyramid of posterior wall of middle ear cavity, a tiny horizontal canal is given off from the vertical part of facial canal. The walls of this canal gives origin to the smallest muscle of the body, stapedius, whose tendon passes through a small hole in the pyramid to reach the bone stapes. The other feature of the vertical part is that it opens out at the base of skull through stylomastoid foramen. Now, the facial nerve, after running in the vertical part, exits through stylomastoid foramen. This foramen is situated 2 cm deep to middle of anterior border of mastoid process. After exit, the nerve enters into the posteromedial surface of parotid gland. Within the gland, the nerve is superficial to retromandibular vein and external carotid artery. The facial nerve divides into temporofacial and cervicofacial branches within the parotid gland. The temporofacial divides into temporal and zygomatic branches, and the cervicofacial divides into buccal, marginal mandibular and cervical branches. These branches are interconnected within the parotid gland that appears like the webbed foot of a goose, called pes anserinus. Shall we enumerate the branches of facial nerve? Right. From the geniculate ganglion, greater superficial petrosal nerve is given off that carries preganglionic parasympathetic secretomotor fibers from lacrimatory nucleus, and the fibers get relayed in the pterygopalatine ganglion and postganglionic fibers reach lacrimal gland. A tympanic branch is given off to the formation of tympanic plexus, which lies over the promontory of the medial wall of medullary cavity. Then external petrosal nerve is given off to middle meningeal plexus. When the facial nerve runs in the vertical part of the canal, it gives its first motor branch, that is nerve to stapedius, that passes through the tiny horizontal canal for stapedius muscle. 6 millimeters above the stylomastoid foramen, cauda tympani is given off that enters into the medullary cavity through posterior canaliculus, runs medial to the pars flaccida part of the tympanic membrane, comes out through anterior canaliculus. It carries secretomotor fibers to submandibular and sublingual salivary glands from superior salivary nucleus and carries taste from anterior two-third of tongue except circumellate papilla to the cranial part of nucleus of tractus solitarius. After emerging out of stylomastoid foramen, the facial nerve gives off posterior auricular nerve that supplies auricularis posterior and superior, and also occipital belly of occipitofrontalis muscle. Then muscular branches are given off to the posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid. The terminal branches are temporal, zygomatic, buccal, marginal mandibular and cervical, supplying the muscles of facial expression and platysma. In the next video, let us discuss the connections and clinical anatomy of facial nerve. Shall we end up the session with a quote? Do not be angry with the rain. It simply does not know how to fall upwards. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon, select all to get instant notifications.